Well, I mentioned it was like a reunion this week on the show, and my next guest probably feels like that more than any other reunion, because you may recognize him from his own show here on Rogers TV many moons ago. Tony House joining me on the show, the founder as well of Canada Topflight Academy. Welcome, Tony. Great to have you here.
It is like a homecoming. It's awesome. Great to see you.
It's great to see you as well, and you're here for a really important subject matter. Before we get to Steph, let's just talk a little bit about the Academy, Tony, for those that aren't familiar.
Yeah, we're 7 years in. It was kind of a labor of love just to start. Being born and raised in Ottawa, we didn't have a prep school. All our top guys were going to either Toronto or the States. So they were leaving traditional high school programs. Some of the best players, that was kind of their jump start to going to university and getting that exposure, top level competition. So I felt if we could get something in Ottawa, we keep our best kids, it's good things are going to happen. And actually the first couple of years, we actually won national championships. So partnered with the Catholic School Board. I've got a senior team at Notre Dame. I've got a junior team at St. Pius. Some great support from like Tom D'Amico down to the administration of both schools. So it's a win-win. The kids get obviously a great education, and at 3 o'clock every day they become CTA athletes, which is amazing.
And you've seen an incredible growth, right? And just in this community alone when it comes to the popularity of basketball.
Yeah, and obviously, the Toronto Raptors winning a world championship.
That doesn't hurt.
Propelled it, but it's great. Like I think participation level, we just talked about it off camera. Soccer and basketball have really started to climb in participation. You see the diversity of immigration coming in, and it's a global game. Hockey's kind of we're a hockey country, always will be. But I think you've seen a little bit of a shift into soccer and hoops.
And you meet some really incredible young men, right? One of those young men is Steph. You've got an event coming up, but before we get to the event, let's talk about the circumstances that have led to this event, Tony. Yeah,
really devastating. Almost a month ago, Steph, who attended our academy for a couple of years, Steph Okenge, an unbelievable young man. First you meet him and he's like your best friend, mature beyond his years. I've been doing this a while now. I've coached, thousands of players, and he's probably in my top 5 all-time great young men. And unfortunately, he was in a horrific car accident down in the States where he was attending an NAIA school on a basketball scholarship. And unfortunately, spinal trauma, whiplash, the worst, nightmare you could have is now a quadriplegic. So, jump start now 3 weeks in, we've actually got him transported to Ottawa, and, I'll do anything for this young man. I mean, to put it in perspective, he's a young man that I would be okay with him dating and marrying my daughters.
Right.
That kind of young man. So I can't speak enough highly about him. And we're pretty excited to be hosting an event from an Ottawa standpoint. He spent some time in Ottawa, was in Africa, and obviously spent a couple of years in our academy, and has definitely left an impression on both Notre Dame, our host school, and CTA.
What is his mental state like? This is early on, right, into a whole new life ahead of him. What is Steph's mental state at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's up and down. It's a roller coaster. You can imagine a 19-year-old that may not be able to ever walk again. We talked about his interview with his mom, may never be able to hug his mom again. He has no feeling down.
From the shoulders down?
So he's a quadriplegic. So there's a lot to kind of digest, and I think the reality's starting to kick in. And I think the good thing is that his family is very tight. We will do whatever we can from our standpoint to just support him. But you're right. I think right now, it's starting to hit him, and I think, from my standpoint, being his coach, I just want to keep him up. I want to keep him confident. He is one of the toughest kids mentally and physically I've coached, so that's going for him. And if any young man can handle this, it's Steph.
What have you got planned for Slam for Steph?
Yeah, it's this Thursday, so tickets are obviously still available. But it's Slam for Steph, so obviously basketball. There's a big portion of that. That played a big part in his life. So my CTA teams are going to put on a bit of an exhibition. We're going to have a 3-point competition and a slam dunk contest, and hopefully pack the gym. Afterwards, a post reception in the Notre Dame cafeteria where we'll have silent auction raffle, pizza, bake sales, all that great stuff. So it's a fundraiser. I mean, this family could use the funds. We know how expensive things can compile, especially, at least we got them up to Canada from the States. But we're just going to try to do everything we can financially, physically, emotionally that we can for
Yeah, and it affects, obviously Steph personally, his family, yourself, but I imagine other members of the Academy that shared time with Steph or didn't, right, Tony? Because, you become a part of a family when you attend something like this. What's been the state of some of the other members of the Academy through all of this?
I think it's shook. I mean, one day you're shooting threes, the next day, you may not be able to walk again or play. So it has affected my guys, and I thought me specifically too, every coach, not just me, but everyone has a bond with their player. They're one of your guys forever. And I thought that basketball would be sort of my therapy, but every time I host a practice, I see Steph in my current team, and I see again these kids that I keep telling them, like, please be grateful, appreciate every day you have, and just enjoy it, because one day it could all be taken away from you. So it's had an impact, but I think it's also rallied us together as a CTA family. Like there's players that he never played with that are actually asking about what can we do, and so it's bringing us together, and that's what kind of these things do. And as I said, we can't just forget about it after Thursday. Like, he's in Ottawa, so I'm going to do whatever I can to support him behind the scenes, and there's so many people that are going to do the same.
For you, acquiring some of these young men to join you at CTA, do you scout high school? Is that how it works?
Yeah, we recruit. It's like a college university program. So we recruit high character, low maintenance kids that are very talented, love basketball, and want to play at the next level, whether it's professionally or post-secondary.
Very quickly, where do they go to get tickets?
That's the easiest. Eventbrite. Go to their main thing, Slam for Steph. That'll bring you to purchase tickets. Get tickets. You click get tickets. You either purchase tickets, and then you can also just generally donate to the cause.
Terrific. Thanks so much, Tony. Really appreciate having you again. Slam for Steph, Thursday, December 1st at Notre Dame High School. We'll be right back.